Got my beautiful little helper there, Hannah. So we're gonna do the door installation today. Never installed a door in my life. I've only watched YouTube videos to try to figure out how to do it. The actual installation isn't super like difficult. It's more like all the little tweaks that you have to make so that the jamb is like plumb and the door is like contacting the weather stripping properly and making sure everything's like square. Like those little things there just might take a little bit extra time. But
I'm actually a professional door installer, so
her experience is going to be invaluable in this experience.
Pretty much.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. So first thing that I'm going to do here is this piece of sheathing under this home wrap is something that I screwed in after I did like all the main sheathing. And this little edge here is just sticking up maybe about 1/8 of an inch or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the jigsaw and just trim it off so that we have a completely flat surface to work on. All right, so flashing the door essentially the same way that we did the windows. So with the home wrap that is on the inside of the jamb here, or on the framing, just gonna cut 1/3 of the way in, all the way down, and then just run a piece of the Tyvek tape from the top to the bottom. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to dry fit the door just to make sure that it is actually the right size and see how it works. Alright, so we've got the door in place where we can just kind of like tip it up into place. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run 3 heavy lines of the caulking on the flashing down here. And then we can actually get the door in place and get it screwed in. You have to be outside to make sure the door doesn't fall. We have screws like screwed into the top of the door so it just doesn't on a handle. Yeah, eventually they'll be taken out, but
Death of HCH by Argentine.
yeah. Make sure that the jamb is all nice and square and there's a good even, and that, hell, can you restart that? So Hannah and I wrestled this bad boy up here and it is kind of in place right now. So I've got 3 screws on the hinge side here. So what you do is you just back out a screw out of the hinge and just take a longer screw and just zip it right in there. So we've got 3 screws there. I'm gonna work on getting 3 screws on this side here and shimming the door properly so that the door will open and close properly, because right now it's a little tight in a few areas, but we've only got 3 screws in it. So this is the hard part of it, where you're trying to like tweak the door to make sure that it's going to open and close properly.
Should we like wipe some of this caulk off?
Oh yeah. All right, so when the door is shut here, got a pretty even space around the entirety of the jamb here. It took a lot of fan dangling on this side to be consistent all the way down to the bottom there. So a lot of taking out the screws in the jamb here. So I just countersunk some screws into there, and yeah, it's starting to look good. One thing that I noticed here is that whenever I would step on this bottom, I don't know what you would call it, bottom sill or whatever of the door, there wasn't any support for it. So once you'd step on it, it would just sink down. So I just shoved some shims in at 3 points here, just so that when you step on it, it's not gonna go anywhere. On the hinge side of the door, I've only replaced one of the hinge screws with screws that are going into the studs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out one more screw out of each of the hinges and drive one more screw right through, and then that'll go into the frame of the door. After that, what I can do is get rid of all the excess shims here and flash the door. We'll be rocking. I needed Hannah for like 4 minutes.
Moral support.
4 minutes I needed her for, and then
I'm just your cheerleader now.
she's just cheerleading.
Everybody in the video will be like, Hannah doesn't help.
It's like she can't help with this. This is like a one-person job. So I've got all the shims removed. So we're not gonna install the actual like door handle and door lock today, because we're gonna go around and we're gonna fix up the paint on the door. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flash around the door here the same way that I did the windows, and then we're just gonna call that the day. Alright, so we got the door flashed, installed, so it's technically watertight. Like we said earlier, we will install the door latch and the deadbolt after we get the door fully painted. Installing doors is kind of, yeah, it's definitely
Tricky?
Tricky, I would say. Yeah, it's not something that I would
Want to do again?
it's not something that I would want to
have as like a profession.
Yeah, because it's something that you need to like know how to do. And watching, this is probably the more difficult thing to install, but the actual door frame itself, like the door jamb, was pretty unsquare at the start. So it was kind of hard to get it back into square and getting the door closing properly, but I think we did a good job. It closes fine and it makes good contact with the weather sealing all the way around. So yeah, door installation is done. And I wouldn't use this video as like a step-by-step guide because it was more of a fan dangling experience than anything. But it works. The bottom sill is strong, so for when we're gonna step on it, it's totally good. We will catch you on the next vlog. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.